This is Thorne, and today we're talking about what really happens when you start pulling away. Not out of anger, not to prove a point, but because you're finally tired of being the one who always cares more. You start replying slower. You stop reaching out first. You say less in conversations, and people notice. Not right away. But eventually, the silence becomes louder than all the effort you used to give. The same people who ignored your presence now feel the weight of your absence. The ones who kept you around for convenience start wondering why you're gone. And maybe they even start reaching out. But this isn't about making them chase you. This isn't about guilt or games. This is about what changes inside of you when you stop bending just to stay close to people who never really tried to hold you. Because you didn't pull away all at once. It wasn't a dramatic moment. It wasn't loud. It was gradual. It came after years of overfunctioning, years of checking in on people who never checked in on you, of trying to be soft, available, easy, even when you were exhausted. Until one day something shifted. You didn't say it out loud, but something in you whispered, "I can't keep doing this." And so, without warning, you stopped, and everything around you started to shift. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You've spent so long monitoring how everyone else feels that not doing it feels wrong. You question yourself. You wonder if you're being selfish, cold, distant. But slowly, something else begins to settle in. Peace. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind that comes from no longer trying to manage everyone else's emotions while ignoring your own. Because for so long, your value felt tied to how available you were. If you were quick to respond, easy to reach, always there. And when you stop doing that, you expect everything to collapse. You think people will get angry. Walk away, punish you. But most don't. Some don't even notice. And that's what hurts the most. Realizing how much you gave and how little of it actually mattered to the people you gave it to. But in that pain, there's clarity. Because now you see the pattern. You were pouring from an empty cup, trying to hold space for people who never held space for you. And the more you step back, the more you notice the quiet parts of yourself that you've been neglecting. Parts that never had room to speak because you were always listening to someone else. Pulling away isn't about punishing anyone. It's about coming back to yourself, softly, gently, without apology. Pulling away doesn't just change how you feel, it changes what you start to see. When you were always emotionally available, people learned to expect it, not appreciate it. They got used to your presence, to your check-ins, to your support. You were the one who remembered birthdays, the one who noticed when something was off, the one who followed up when no one else did. But when you stop doing that, when you stop reaching across the emotional gap to keep the connection alive, you start to see who steps forward and who simply disappears. Some people will say you've changed, that you've become distant, that you're not like you used to be. What they really mean is, you're not making it easy for me anymore. And it stings. Because you weren't trying to be difficult. You were just trying to stop bleeding for people who only showed up to watch you bleed. Others won't say anything at all. They'll just drift, like your effort was the only thing holding the bond together. And maybe it was. That's the clarity that comes with distance. You learn which relationships were mutual and which ones were just dependent on your energy. And that's not bitterness. It's not drama. It's truth. And truth, even when it's painful, is where healing finally begins. With enough distance, you stop seeing your silence as a reaction. You start seeing it as a boundary. You no longer need to explain why you're quieter now, why you stopped checking in, why you don't show up the same way anymore. You just know that your energy is no longer available by default. That access to you is no longer something people can take for granted. And that doesn't make you unkind. It makes you aware. Because once you pull back, you finally get a clear view of how much you were giving, not out of joy, but out of fear. Fear of being left behind, fear of being seen as difficult, fear of not being needed. And the irony is, you were the one holding the connection together, the one doing the emotional labor. the one making it easy. When you stop, you don't become distant, you become honest. You become someone who only invests where there's reciprocity. Someone who recognizes that emotional availability is a gift, not an obligation. And it's in that space, the space you use to fill with noise, with fixing, with effort, that you begin to rest. Not just physically, but emotionally. For the first time in a long time, you're not stretching yourself to be enough. You're just being. And that is finally enough. You didn't lose them. You just stopped losing yourself to keep them. You didn't walk away to hurt anyone. You walked away because staying was quietly hurting you. And that's the part most people won't understand. Because they only remember the version of you that was always there, always soft, always forgiving. They remember the effort, not the exhaustion behind it. They remember your availability, not how much it cost you. But you remember. You remember the conversations that left you drained, the connections that felt one-sided, the way you'd shrink yourself to keep the peace, and still feel alone. So now you're done. Not angry, not bitter. Just done. Done trying to earn space in people's lives who never made room for you. Done proving your worth through emotional labor. Done keeping the connection alive on your own. You've stopped begging to be chosen and started choosing yourself. You've stopped offering your energy like it's endless and started protecting the parts of you that no one ever thought to protect. And maybe they're just now starting to notice your absence. Maybe they're realizing what you brought into every room, but by now, you're not looking back. Because this version of you, the one who pauses, the one who protects their peace, she's not cold. She's clear. And for the first time in a long time, she feels like home.